Okay. Looks like Twitch is live and TikTok is live. Hey Maria, 2021, what's up? Thanks for being here. Let me send a notification to Discord. How's everyone doing today? Live game dev stream on Twitch, everyone. Boom. Okay, that is posted to Discord. We are ready to go. My name is Leandro now. Forget about now. Okay. Hello, Leandro now. No, I gotcha. I gotcha. Asti2, what's up? How's it going? Who is ready for some game dev today? I'm excited. I'm excited to show you guys the update to this. So last game dev stream I did on this, I had nothing. Let me actually open up Blender. We were really just working on the layout of the Legos and what they would look like. And I created these mock-up Legos. Very, very basic geometry, just enough for a game. Nothing crazy, no beveled edges or anything. And, oh, I just realized that these two Legos do not have the cylinders inside them. Oh wait, are they supposed to? Oh, they don't. Okay, cool. So I'm good. Can you guys see that? On TikTok, you can't. Let me actually, on the vertical stream, let me turn this on so you can see it. Yes, there we go. Cool. Okay. This looks nice. Thank you, Elephantinator. Thanks for appreciate that. Marco, what's up? How's it going? So yeah, so we don't have a 2x2 Lego here. What I did. Okay, no worries. So yeah, the 1x2 Lego, you can see this, does not have the cylinders in it like the other ones do. So this should be fine. So last stream, I was basically working out the layout of how all this would work in the game with all the snap points, because when you connect the Legos together, the game needs to be able to know where, like which piece of these blocks, these Legos are snappable, are snap points, so that the Legos can actually connect to each other. So it worked out that like a 2x4 would have 8 snap points on the top. It's closer. And then the bottom of it would have actually 11 snap points. It would have the 8. So it would have the 8 inside, and then it has the 3 inside the cylinder, because some Legos, not this type of Lego, but some of them would actually be able to connect to that inner circle. So like a 1x1 Lego, like that one, could actually connect to one of those bottom circles. So that would be a snap point. So I worked all the snap points out for at least these type of blocks. I'm gonna try to start saying blocks more often in these streams, because I really want to steer away from doing anything with the Lego name in it, because I don't want to have any copyright infringement or anything going on. So I actually plan on releasing this as an actual game that you can play on the App Store. And I'm pretty sure as long as I do not use any of Lego's naming conventions, then we should be fine, because I've seen a few other Lego games on the App Store, but they're not associated with Lego, but they call it something like brick game or block game or block racing or whatever. So I think as long as I don't use the Lego name, I think we should be, and as long as I don't use minifigures, then we should be good. Like all of the actual blocks should be fine to use. But I'm no lawyer, so I'm not quite sure about that, but I'm I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100%. I'm like 95% sure it should be okay, but we'll see. I kind of actually hope that this does get Lego's attention, because I would love, like in a good way, not a bad way, because I would love to do some type of partnership with them or something. I don't know. That'd be awesome. But yeah, so by the end of last stream, we were working on these basic Lego mock-ups in Blender and just figuring out the snap layout with all of these empties. So then I placed these here, and then what I did this off stream, was I exported these as FBXs, brought them into the Unity game. So now in Unity, let me show you guys what I have so far. Derploms derp, you should probably rename those models. Yes, there's a few things I need to go ahead and do. So like you can see here, I need to stop using the word Lego in my stream title probably. And I also need to rename these models. But in my coding so far, I've been making sure to use the block naming convention instead of Lego. So we'll get there, but we don't have all of Lego's naming conventions quite out yet. And this is just the beginning. So unavailable Count W, first time chat. Thanks for being here. So sorry for bothering you. I want to offer a promotion of your channel. Oh gosh. Price is lower than any competitor. Quality is flexible. No, sorry. I'm not interested in any type of paid promotion of any of my stuff. I did a little bit of that. Thank you, Marco Polo, appreciate that. It's so nice to have a mod here. Even that was likely a bot, but even if it was legit, when I first started my Pixelfire YouTube channel years ago, I experimented with paid ads, like all legitimate paid ads, through Google's AdSense stuff, and it just did not work out very well. And I've come to realize that organic growth on your social media platforms is so much better than paid growth, even legitimate paid growth. It's just so much more real, and that's what I focus on now. I don't do any paid ads or anything like that. So It's Lab. It's Lab. I recognize that name. It's Lab. It's Lab. It's Lab. It's Lab. Are you like a really old OG viewer? I recognize that name. It's Lab. Did we play Fortnite together? Don't remember. Okay, I clicked on your name, but now I can't get rid of it in the chat. There we go. Okay. Yeah, I'm about to show you guys what I've developed so far of the actual game in Unity, and I'm super pumped to show you guys, so stay tuned. I'm just like rearranging my layout on OBS real quick. Oops, so I can see all the chats. Okay. Are you streaming on a different website? For the game dev stream right now, I'm streaming on Twitch and TikTok. We're the Lego people. No Lego people right now. I'm not doing the Lego VTuber setup right now. I'm actually developing a game, a mobile game that I'm super excited about. Yes, I will show the game in like 5 seconds. Dillian Muse subscribed at tier 1. Whoa, thank you so much, Dillian Muse. That's amazing. Thank you so much. You subscribed for 2 months. Wow, you're incredible. Thank you so much. That's right. It's Lab is Lucas. That's right. I knew I recognized that name. That's awesome. Thanks for being here, It's Lab. How are you doing? I heard, so It's Lab is a personal connection, like IRL connection. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to tell people your business, but just between me and you, It's Lab, and please don't say anything in the chat that you're not comfortable with, but It's Lab, congratulations on your recent news. I heard about your recent news through the grapevine, and huge congratulations to you. Yeah, thanks for being here, everyone. Let's see if anyone else I need to say hi to. Won't be able to stay long because I'm going to the gym. Oh, cool. But I still came to spend some time online. Thanks for being here. It means a lot. Okay, I'm going to show the game. Let's do it. Okay. So guys, keep in mind, I've only been developing this for like 2 days, but here we go. So what I've gotten so far, I'm excited to show you guys this, is... So let me preface this by, for those who don't know, this is going to be a simple mobile game where you are given a random amount of Lego pieces, or sorry, you're given a random amount of blocks, let's say 8 blocks, 10 or 12. And you then have to use those blocks to piece them together to make your own creation, whatever you want to create. And then ideally, in like the best form of this mobile game, that would then get sent to like a central hub where all these different creations with those same exact block pieces were used to create those creations, and then you can get judged and you can win prizes and win challenges and stuff. So yeah, and I'd like to do all of that on stream. That'll be super fun. Anyway, so what you can do so far is you can select the blocks. So that's good. That's a good step. You can move around. Now, mind you, all this is working with a mouse, so I would eventually need to make it work with touch input on your mobile screen, but for now it's just using the mouse. But you can select Lego blocks. You can move them around after you've selected it. And then, let me actually turn this off on, turn the top cam off on the vertical screen, there we go. And then you can also snap. So you can actually connect the Lego blocks to each other and then let go, and it's good. It's snapped to that Lego. Select this one, put it up here. Look at that. That just makes me so happy. I think part of what makes me so happy is because it took me so long to get this snapping mechanism working. And like the moving around with the camera, super easy, did that in like 30 minutes. The selecting a Lego block and it outlining and then being able to move it around, again, took just like maybe a few hours tops. Super easy. But then once you've selected it and you're moving it around and then you get close to a snappable piece of another Lego block and then it connects to it and then you can let go and it's perfectly where it should be. It just makes me so happy. It makes me so happy. It's so cool. I love it so much. So I can move this up to here, boom. This was one of those things that I could not have coded on stream. It was one of the, I've talked to you guys about this before. There's some things in coding where it just takes the entirety of my concentration and my brain power to do, and having to do that as well as chat with you guys and hang out with stream and entertain, so to speak, is just, it's impossible for me. I don't have the brain capacity to do that. So some things I can develop on stream. They don't take as much mental power, but this snapping mechanism, it took everything in me. So yeah, so that's done. Well, I say done. It's like 95% there. There's still some things that could be improved, like, which I'd actually like to do on stream today, if you guys will, if you guys would like to see it. So for instance, you can currently place something in a position that should not be allowed to go there. So like if I try to move this right here, it will let me put it in this position, even though you technically shouldn't be allowed to do that because that single yellow 1x1 is in the way. So I need to make it so that if a Lego block is in the way, it will not let you place it there. So I'm thinking with that, what we do is, so right now it's a yellow outline. Once you drag a Lego block into the space of another Lego block, I'm thinking the outline should turn red. But then what happens if you let go in that spot? Because if I let go right now, it's in midair, which is fine, but it's intersecting with the other Lego block. So ideally, I think that you shouldn't be allowed to do that, or what do you guys think? Do you guys think you should be allowed to do this? Do you think you should be allowed to intersect Legos and leave it there? Or once you intersect it and then you let go, maybe it will snap the Lego back to its original position. So let's say the Lego starts here. Lego's here, so this is its original position. I start to move it, and then if I place it in a place that it cannot go and then I let go, then that Lego block will automatically snap back to its last allowed position, so up here. I think that would be the most ideal mechanic, but if you guys have any other ideas, I would love to hear them out. Have a check-uncheck box for snapping and free placement. That is an excellent idea, Tom. I really like that. So somewhere in the UI, you can kind of snap them together like that in LEGO Fortnite. Okay. Absolutely love it. Thank you, Elephantinator. Appreciate it. Keep it up. Let's see the game in the App Store. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Appreciate it, guys. Oh, that's cool. That's sick, man. Thank you, guys. Means a lot. If you could have it never intersect, I think that would be ideal. So like not even let this happen. Oh, that's a cool idea. So maybe let's say I'm dragging it over here, and as I drag it towards that red block, it won't go inside it, but it will kind of like collide against the red block. And then if I keep like pushing the mouse into it, the green block would just slide along the edge, the outside of the red block, as close as it's allowed to go. Interesting. I might be able to do that right now really easy, because these have, all these blocks have colliders on them. But they don't have rigid bodies on them. So I wonder if I added rigid bodies to these, if that would just solve that right away. Let's try it. Let's put one on the 2x4. Rigid body. Don't use gravity because I don't want it to start falling out of nowhere. This is gonna be an experiment. You guys ready for this? Rigid body, use gravity. Okay, so I have a rigid body on the red and the blue blocks. Let's try this. Let's try this. Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. So it's... Okay, it's still sliding. Okay. No, come back. So it's gone. It's floating away. Oh gosh. That was hilarious. When it's checked for snapping, have it turn red when overlapping. Yeah, I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah, I think it's because I have kinematic turned on. Let's see. No. It needs to have is kinematic turned on. Let's try that again. Did you guys, when it first interacted with it, it just pushed the Lego block out of the way? Watch this. And then the snapping code just starts freaking out. That is so funny. Okay, let's see if is kinematic. We'll fix it. Can you guys hear the music, by the way? It should be playing. I don't hear the music. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Nope. Which, that makes sense. Yeah, I wouldn't expect that to work. That would have to be something that I would do in code. It wouldn't be too difficult because I'm already, actually, let me turn gizmos on so you guys can actually see what's happening behind the scenes. Boop. Okay. You guys can actually see some of my code working, how it's working in the background. So what happens with the snap mechanism is whenever you select a block and then you start dragging it, what the code does is it searches within this Lego block for one of each possible type of snap point on this Lego block that is closest to the point where you clicked on the Lego block. So if I click right here, it's selecting a male snap point at the top. You can see that little white circle. And it's selecting a female snap point at the bottom. Those are the two. So the closest male snap point is the one at the top, and the closest female snap point is at the bottom. So if I click over here, it'll select those two because those are closer to the mouse. If I click right here, it'll select that male and the female in the back corner, because those are, actually that might be the middle bottom, because those are the closest snap points, one of each type, to the mouse. And then it uses those snap points to look for snap points on another Lego block, and then attaches to the matching snap point. So like female snap points look for male snap points, and male snap points look for female snap points. So it searches for the opposite one on the other Lego object, Lego block, and then it adjusts the position of that Lego block accordingly. So if I put the mouse near one of these snap points up here, it'll use the female snap point at the bottom of the blue block. I feel like I'm like rambling gibberish right now. Does anyone understand what I'm saying right now, or am I just jabbering? And if I go towards the bottom of the red block, then it's detecting the female snap points on the bottom of the red block. So now it knows, okay, use the male snap point from the blue block. So that's how it's connecting to the bottom now. And the cool thing about this code is that the way that I built it, it's modular, if that's the right word. It's dynamic. So when I introduce another Lego block that has a different type of snap point, so like, pull this up again. Boop. So like all these Lego blocks I have here, they all just have the male and the female. But if I have I don't have one in here, but you know, there's some Lego blocks that it's like a hinge. Like the hinge would be a different type of snap point that I would have to put in, but my code would already account for that. All I have to do is, let me actually pull it up, the code. Snap. So different snap types right now. So right now all I have is male and female snap types. But if I wanted to add a hinge, then I could just do hinge. And then if a Lego block has a hinge snap point, then that would be included in one of the snap points that it uses to search for the other, or snap to other Lego blocks. So that's super cool. So let's see what you guys are saying. You'd be able to freeze the position in rotations, but then it's still movable. What do you mean by that? I have no clue. I use Godot. Oh, cool. Do you pronounce it Godot or Godot? Don't forget to add a wheel so people can turn their vehicles when they build them. Yes, I will definitely intend on. I'd like to build include every single Lego block in this game. Use the game when you have updates every oh yeah, for sure. I'll update it for as long as people will play it. Not intersecting it at all would be nicer. Okay. Instead of clipping, it slides along the other brick. Yes, 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 exactly. I like that. Yeah. Oh, so I was gonna do the gizmo thing. Yeah, so got the gizmos. So I had a gizmo before, but I don't have it turned on now. But so pretty much if I slide this along here, the blue block will search for the closest point of contact on the collider of the red, and then it will just move along that position. I coded something like that before in the VTuber app that I worked on the past 2 years that got shut down. So that should be pretty straightforward. I've done that before, so. But so far, I love the snap mechanisms that it's working beautifully. But now I think like something I could totally do on stream is make it so that when one intersects with another Lego block, the outline turns red. So let's do that now. Okay. So let's see, it would have to be done in the block code. We already have a reference to the outline. Where am I changing the outline? Here, in selected. So we have outline enabled true and outline enabled false. So when it enters another collider, it has to switch the outline to red. Okay, so that would be with void on trigger enter, collider other. I'm not looking for snap point colliders because those have colliders, so I'm only looking for Lego block colliders. So if other Lego blocks have the block script, this script. So if other get component block does not equal null, which essentially means if the collider that we're intersecting with has the block script, which essentially means it's a Lego block, then outline color set to red. I actually need to look up the color red. Is that? I don't think that's right. I forget what the coding convention is for get and set. Gotta look that up. Can I just do equals? That might work. Let's try it. We have a teleporter in this game people can build so people don't have to walk or fly far. Probably not, because this game, it's a very small game in that you're only going to be working with like 5 to maybe 20 or 30 Legos tops. It's not going to be huge. It's going to be a very small mobile space, if that makes sense. What got shut down? What got shut down? The option to freeze positions and rotations by axis in the rigid body options. Yes. What got shut? Oh yeah, the VTuber app. Yeah, so I worked on a VTuber app for a pretty good big company over the past 2 years, and it was private the whole time, so there's no information about it out there, and it got shut down at the beginning of this year. And it was, if you want to hear more about it, you can go check out my most recent video on my YouTube channel. It goes into it a little bit, but yeah, I was left with nothing creatively because it was private the whole time, so I have nothing to show for it. I have my experience that I gained from building the thing. I was the solo dev on it, but yeah. Hey, thanks for all the follows, guys, and the shares. It means a lot. Bro, you're my idol. I saw you as a Lego and was like, I can do this for HK47. That's awesome. No, not my VTuber app. No. So I was building a VTuber app for another company, but it had nothing to do with my Pixelfire setup with the Lego and the Minecraft stuff. Like, that's all my own stuff. So my plan, ideally, if there's enough support from the community, like financially, then I will actually build tools, build my own VTuber app that lets you guys use my Minecraft setup, my Lego setup, my VTuber tools I've been developing over the past 5 years. So that's the plan, at least. If you guys do want to support, any way you want to helps, Twitch subs, TikTok subs, YouTube channel memberships. My preferred way of support is I just launched a new website called pixelfire.store, and you can actually sign up for a membership there. It's identical to Patreon, essentially. It's like how you support creators on Patreon. It's the same exact thing. It's just my own membership system on my own website. So the fees are down to only 3%. On Patreon, it's like Patreon takes 8% to 14%, somewhere in there. So on my own website, the Stripe only takes 3%. So a lot more of your support goes towards Pixelfire, towards developing all this stuff. So if you want to support, check out the website, pixelfire.store. Okay, so let's see if that code worked. It should work. We'll see. That's game dev for you. Code is something, it should work, but I'm not sure until we see. Okay. When this intersects with another collider, the outline should turn red. And it doesn't. Okay, let's do this. Let's debug. So let's just put a message in the console. Intersect. Okay. Boop. So let's see if it's even intersecting or detecting the intersection. How long does it take you to get it to move? Like this, like getting this to move, follow the mouse, took just like a few hours. Moving the camera around took maybe 30 minutes to an hour. but getting the snap mechanism to work. Okay, I don't see any console messages. I need to turn those other debugs off so I can actually see what's going on. But getting the snap mechanism to work took probably 5 hours, 6 hours of time. Okay, let's turn these other debugs off. Whoa, don't want to do that. I think that's all the debugs, besides the one we want. Okay, why is it not working? It's intersecting. Let's take a look at this. On trigger enter, another collider. If that other collider has the block script on it, then send a message. Let's look at my colliders. That's why I think, okay, so the Lego blocks colliders need the is trigger turned on. Let's do that. Let's try it now. Fingers crossed. No. Not at all. On trigger enter, do I need a rigid body? Is that what I think I need? Rigid bodies. Let me check this real quick. Let's see. On trigger enter Unity. Okay, collider on trigger enter. Happens on fixed update. Both game objects must contain a collider component. Okay, one must have collider is trigger enabled and contain a rigid body. Okay, that's why it's not working. If both game objects have collider is trigger enabled, no collision happens. Interesting. Same applies when both game objects do not have a rigid body component. Okay, let's try that. So let's have these have the trigger off. And this Lego 2x2 have a box collider and rigid body. Don't use gravity. Is kinematic. Let's try that. According to the page, it should work now. Yes, it works. Okay, awesome. There we go, guys. It's turning red. Okay. We're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. Hey, Saint Necro, thanks for the heart. It means a lot. I am Goko. What is up? First time chat. Thanks for being here. How long have you been doing game dev? I dabbled with it kind of as a hobby, just playing around with Unity. Probably started doing that around 2015-ish, 2016, 8-9 years ago. And then started getting into it heavily with my Pixelfire channel, because my whole Pixelfire VTuber setup is essentially a game. Everything runs in Unity. So I've been doing that for 5 years now, 5 or 6 years. And then professionally, actually working on the VTuber app for that company, I did all that within Unity. That was the past 2 years, so that was actual professional paid work. And so now I'm just doing it. So I don't know. I've been dabbling in game dev for 9 years maybe, but actually doing like what I would consider legitimate work, where I can code and make things happen within the game engine. Probably 3 years, 4 years. Yeah, it's an ongoing process. Hope you're having a great and productive day. Thank you, Saint Necro. Appreciate it. It means a lot. Okay, so we've got the red outline working, which is great. But now we need to have it turn back to yellow once it exits. So that's pretty straightforward. Just got to on trigger exit. Trigger exit. And then just copy all that. Boop. Change the color back to yellow. Okay, that should work. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Let me turn this off. So now when you intersect with another Lego, it turns red, telling you, hey, you can't place it here. That's a problem though. You obviously can place it there, but it's still turning red. And it's because the block is intersecting with the other. So what I need to do is, so what's happening? When a Lego block snaps, I have it set up so that, where is it? This bool is triggered. Can you guys see this up here? You can see it on YouTube, not on, or on Twitch, not on TikTok. So if I select this, you see there's a Boolean on the block script titled is snapped. So right now is snapped is false, and now is snapped is true. So I need to make it so that it will only turn red if is snapped is false, because if it's true, then it shouldn't be red, it should stay yellow. So that's pretty straightforward. So on trigger enter, if it's entering another Lego block and is snapped is false, then turn it red. Yeah. Otherwise, every time you exit, turn it back to yellow. That should handle that. I love coding so much. It's just so much fun. It is so much fun. Let's see if that works though. Okay. Red, yellow, perfect. But then snap. It's still turning red. What? Okay, now it's working, but it didn't before. Red. Okay, it's working correctly here up the top, but if I go on the side, red, good, yellow, good, but then I go up. Why is it doing that? Correct. Wait, now it's working. On trigger enter, turn to red, that's good, but then snap. Oh, I know. Okay, so once it's snapped, nope, wrong spot. Once it snaps, if it was previously red, it should turn back to yellow. So, back in my, here, no, let's see. Where does snap turn to true? There it is. So that's in the snap mechanism. Is snapped equals true. So I could put it here. It's a little messy. It's just probably be coded a little differently, but I could do this. Outline, what? Is that not public? Oh, it's private. outline color equals color yellow. Okay, so that should work. Whenever it snaps, it will turn back to yellow. So that is gonna work, but it's a little messy. I should probably code that better. So, boom, it's red, but then once you snap, it turns yellow. There, beautiful. Red, 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 snap, yellow. Nice. You love to see it. Beautiful. It's like we're working. Okay, that doesn't work. So, okay, so I have this set up so that only the 2x2 works because I have, let's see. So it wasn't leaving the trigger when it snapped. Wasn't leaving the trigger when it snapped. Correct. Yes. That's exactly what's going on. Because technically, the box collider for each of these blocks extends out into this area. Because it covers the top cylinders as well. You see the box border around it? These spheres, those are all the snap points. Snap point colliders. So just the box. So when it snaps, so when another object snaps to this cylinder, it's actually intersecting with the box collider. So that's why I wasn't turning back to yellow. But now it's fixed. I should probably code that differently. I won't code that differently now. I'll probably clean it up better later off stream. But probably the way that it should work is the block should have a method in here. Because like right now it has a selected method where it switches it between selected and unselected. I should have another method that is like public void intersecting. And then whenever the on trigger enter or on trigger exit happens, it triggers the intersecting method, and it'll say intersecting false, and this one would be intersecting true, and then in here, if intersecting is true. Those who don't know, you'll see me be doing this a lot, but this right here, if intersecting equals true, is the same exact thing as saying if intersecting. It's the same exact thing, in C# at least. And intersecting equals false is the same exact thing as this, if exclamation mark intersecting. That's the same thing as that. So I try to do this more often than this. This is more legible and readable in code, but this is shorter and cleaner. Neither matters because whenever you build the actual game, like exporting it from Unity, all the C# gets converted to machine code, I believe. And so something like this wouldn't actually matter because it would convert this into the same thing that it would convert this into. So really this is just a personal preference whether you do this or that. I'm pretty sure. I'm no expert, but that's my thought on it. I guess I could go ahead and do this. Because then the reason why this is cleaner is because I'm assigning the variables in various places. So let's say I decide later down the road to make it so that the outline should be green, not yellow. So then I'd have to go back to change the yellow to green here. And then I'd also have to go back to this area and change it green here. Whereas if I do it this new way, I can change it just in this one place, and then it will affect all the other places. So let's actually just go ahead and do that right now. So boop. I'm just going to delete that too. So on trigger enter, we call the intersecting method and say that it's true. And on trigger exit, we call the intersecting method and call it for false. And then up here, if intersecting, else, and then that's where we can do outline color equals color, red. And then if we're not intersecting, then color yellow. That is that. And then over here, I can call the method intersecting true. No, intersecting false. Because we snap and then call intersecting false. Boom. I also could put it in, let's see. I could also make a snap method. And then just call that here, and inside the snap method, put that there. I'll just leave it like this for now. That's fine. Okay. So the same exact code is running right now, essentially. It's just more clean. Yep. Red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, snap, back to yellow. Boom. Okay. So that works for blue block. Now we just got to make it work for every other block. Good code is readable. Sometimes I like to type it out like X is not null. Interesting. Can you do that? Can you type it out? If intersect, you said is not null, so if other gate component is not null. Can you do that? Is that legitimate C#, really? Is it really? Wow, that is so cool. Thanks for telling me that. I did not know that. I'm still not going to do it that way because I like this way better, but that is, I did not know you could do that. Thank you so much, Loxion. That's cool. I want to see Lego Man with lightsaber live. Illy Fangs. Yeah, I'm not doing that now, but let's see. I will do a Lego stream. Lego VTuber stream. Today's Wednesday. Probably, I'll do it definitely Friday night or Saturday night. I don't think I'll do it before then. Yeah, probably one of those two nights. Make an exception to locking into place. How are you thinking about handling when bricks are connected to others to pick up multiple, etc.? I was thinking about that. Were you here last stream, I am Goko? So here's the issue with that I brought up on stream last time. Let me turn top cam back on for stream. Okay, so we have these Lego blocks. Okay. Let's say, oh, first stream, that's right, I'm Goko, awesome. So let's say I start off building. Whoa. I connect this block to this one. Boop. So if I select this one and move it, it moves it. Makes sense. Currently in the game that you guys see, if you select this bottom block, then it will just select it and move it. Now, what we could do that would be super cool is if you grab this block and move it, then it will take this block with it. Because it's connected, that would make sense, right? So you select it, you move it, and it moves this one with it. That makes sense. The only problem with that is, so then if you have like that, and if you move this one, it moves those two with it. It makes sense. If you select the green one, then it will move the green and the yellow with it. That makes sense. The problem comes in when you're not only, when you go up in your Lego build, but then you also go down. So let's say we have that build. If I move the blue block, it makes sense. Everything should go with it. But if I move the green block, should the green, or let me make this more clear. Let's have, so these two, you can't see that on stream. So these two are at the same level vertically, the two blue ones. Let's say I move the green one away. What should move with the green one as you move it away? Only everything above it? So like only the green and yellow should move away? Or if you move the green one, should everything except for that one come away with it? That's the problem that we have to figure out, that we have to solve, and before we can actually code it, because I feel like that's a preference thing. Like how are users gonna want to move groups of Legos around? So like what if as a user, I want to move all these blocks on the left, but not these two right here. I want to move them like that. How's the game gonna know what I want to move? Because some users might want to move everything but this piece. So they move this piece and it drags all that with it. So how would you do that without individually selecting every single Lego you want to move? Like we could do that. That would be the most straightforward way to do it. So like a shift select kind of thing, which is hard. I don't know how you would do that on a mobile device though. So like you select that and then you multi-select that. Oh, that's weird. Why does that happen? Because red block is not snapped. So whenever I make one block snap to another, I actually need to turn is snapped on that other block as well. Maybe I shouldn't actually. I don't know yet. Toggles for it sounds like a pretty good idea actually. What do you mean toggles? Ghillie Suit, first time chat. How's it going, Pixel? Hope you're having a great day. Thanks for being here, Ghillie Suit. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. Why not both make it toggleable? Yes. Maybe have a single selection and a connected blocks with a threshold as two different selection modes. A threshold. That's interesting. Still though, how would that work? In Unity Learn Stuff, it says, if different users want X, let the user decide. Or a key combo. Well, key combo is more difficult because this is going to be on mobile. So that's what we've got to think about. Orangevo Snox. What is up? First time chat. Thanks for being here. What are you trying to achieve? I'm trying to... Ideally, we want to make it so that Legos can be connected to other Legos. So if you move this block, or less more simply, if you move this block, it will move this one with it. So like in this instance right here, if I move this, it moves away. But if I move this red block, then it should carry the blue block with it because it's attached to it. Makes sense, but how do we handle instances where, like that, let's say as a user, I like where these two blue blocks are placed, but I only want to move these three blocks together to move them like down to snap points. So what we could do, I thought about this morning. Let me run this by you guys. Also make different tools, like one for removing, one for moving. On mobile? How would that work? Also make something that you have different tools, one for moving, one for removing. This Orangevo's Knox, are you chatting on both TikTok and Twitch? Because if not, someone put the same exact message on both. Jero, what's up? Thanks for being here. Long press on a piece could add it to a batch selection. So you long press and it enters select mode. On mobile. Long press on a piece. Jute. Could add it to a batch selection. So you long press and then it enters select mode. Okay, so then I could select other pieces, do, and then move them all together. That is interesting. That could work. I thought about like a border select or a box select. But I don't think that would work on mobile. I feel like that would be really awkward on mobile. Yeah, that's possible because this is going to be on mobile, so I want it to be as simple as possible. Right now you can select individual blocks, move them, and it snaps beautifully. I love it. I think it works really well. But then moving a ton of blocks together. So we've got to figure out. So if I move this yellow block, I think definitely without a doubt we should have a toggle in the UI that lets you move a block individually without affecting other blocks. So like how we were doing right here, I could move that. Or you could toggle it to carry blocks with it. So then if I toggle that on and then I move the yellow block, it carries the blue and the red with it. So I can move it around, blue and red come with it. That makes sense. The question just is then, what is considered connected to the yellow? This is up here. Are all of these considered connected to yellow? Because again, what if I have these two blue blocks on the floor? I start with these two blue blocks and then I start building up from there. Boop, boop, and then they eventually connect. We've got essentially two branches of Legos connecting together. So if I move this blue block, should it move everything with it? Or should this branch stay by itself and then this branch move separately? What I could do, possibly, is what I'm thinking about this morning. As you start building, each Lego block will keep track of what you've done with it. So right now they're all disconnected. I move this one to here. So it's keeping track of red is connected to blue. But then if I move this green over here, wait a second, maybe that would. Okay, no, this will work. Wait a second. So red knows that it got connected by the user to blue. So then I move green block over here, boom. Now green knows that it's connected to red, but red does not know that it's connected to green. But red does know it's connected to blue. So in this instance, if I move blue block, it will carry red with it, but not green. But if I move green block, it will not take red with it because red was not placed by the user onto the green block. So this would move away like that. And if I had the toggle on to carry connected objects with it, moving blue away would automatically carry red with it because red was originally placed by the user onto the blue block. So it would have that knowledge baked in, but it wouldn't take green with it because green was connected from a different branch. Does that make sense? Do you guys think that would work? It sounds like it would work in theory. At least according to the Lego blocks, that would make sense because they would know how the user connected them to each other. But as the user's building, the user might not remember that's how it was connected, and then they drag the blue and it takes the red, but they really want it to take more. So I think even with that system in place, we would need to have some sort of multi-select system in place. It does make sense. I'm new to the coding game. Not sure what to do for the mobile side of things. Okay. My threshold, as in like an up-down arrow, for example, that control the selection grow. So it's either growing the blocks. Yeah, no, I totally understood that. I am Goko. I think that is one of the most legitimate solutions, I believe. So I am Goko, guys, was saying that you select a block and there's a threshold value. And as you increase that threshold number, so it could be like a slider at the top or something, so you increase that value and it will slowly select more and more blocks that are connected to it. So you could have like a 0.1 threshold and it would select this one as well. If you had like a 0.2 threshold, it would select this one and this one. And as you drag the slider, it would select more and more Legos that are surrounded by it. That could work. 100%. Joe says, yeah, I agree. Hierarchy, like, yeah, only one way to find out, yeah. What's the microphone? Oh, this is a Wave DX. Elgato Wave DX. Another idea, what if you selected a block and then you selected the end block? So I select this, and then I select this, and it would select all the Legos in between that. I think that could work. So let's say I want to, as a user, I want to multi-select all of these blocks and then move them all as one cohesive unit. First point select, so like maybe there's a UI button. It's the multi-select button. You press that, boop, and then after that, the first block you select is the first point, the first selection point, and then the second block you select is the end point. So I select this one. And then it will automatically select all the blocks between your first selection and your second selection. So all of these. Boop. Whoops. That. What do you guys think about that? That could actually work. Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry, guys. The only problem with that was, what if there's 3 branches? I'm running out of Legos. What if there's 3 branches like this? So I select point 1, and I select point 2. It would obviously select all the ones in between, but would it select this green one as well? That's so tough. I feel like even the possible scenarios we're thinking about right now isn't even the tip of the iceberg. It's really difficult to account for every possible build that someone could come up with. I like that long press enter select mode and you select the next point, which creates a select. That could totally work. It's like a combination of those two ideas. So it needs to be a select mode so you can deselect the ones that you don't want. I mean, that's definitely the easiest method, to just have like, you go into select modes and you can select, 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 select. Like just individually tapping every Lego you want to move together at once. That's the most straightforward method. I just worry that would take too long to individually select each block. Like let's say a user has 30 blocks, then they want to move 25 blocks at once. They would have to tap 25 individual Lego blocks to do like a multi-select thing. That's what I want to avoid. Oxyon says you can never come up with all the methods users will do to mess up your project. I learned that the hard way. That is true. And that's probably something that we'll have to account for later, but I also want to at least build something at first that would account for them as much as we can think up, so that I don't run into a problem later and then I'm like, oh, we need to completely scrap this method and do something completely different. Yeah, so I'll allow this message now. Loxy on Twitch flagged your message because it had a sort of it had a swear word in it, but you covered it up, so I appreciate that. But just make sure that you keep the chat family friendly, so no swearing. Appreciate it. You start with what you were saying and individually deselect what didn't work. Okay. So go into multi-select mode or long press or whatever. Select point A, select point B. It selects all the Legos in between it. But if there's one in between it, like maybe this green one right here that was connected, you can tap that to deselect it. That could work. I'm still wondering how exactly I would do that though. How would I select all Legos in between those 2 points? That is something I've never done before in game dev. That'll be an interesting problem to solve. We'd have the variables of point A and point B blocks. That makes sense. And then just do a for each check maybe. Like a loop, looping through. So if block is connected to another block, add that to the selection. No, because if you have a block down here, it needs to know which blocks are in between this block, point A and point B. But how does it know which Lego blocks are in between but also connected? Because technically you could have a branch of Legos coming from somewhere else, and then it sort of gets in between those point A and point B, but it's not connected. It's like connected through another branch somewhere else. And so space-wise, like in world space, yes, this block is in between point A and point B, but it's not connected. I have to program it in such a way that this is so complicated. So that it's detecting what is in between, but what is also connected. But the thing is it might be connected to this block through some other route over here. That is so complicated. So actually do this. There we go. So if I select point A, boom, and then select point B, boom. It needs to select all the Legos in between, boom. But not this one, even though this might technically be in between, distance-wise from here to here, but it's not connected along that branch. So somehow we've got to figure out coding-wise how to detect if something is connected via a branch. And I'm not exactly sure how to solve that right now. So I think that will be a problem for later. Do you teach people how to use Unity? I do not. I've been self-teaching for 8 months. That's awesome. What if it's just a selection brush, so you just long press and then drag to collect selections? That is in line with a box border select. The problem with that is Legos behind other Legos. So if I have this set up here, and then I border select or brush select, in your case, right here, you might accidentally select the red block behind it without intending to. So if I did a big box select, it would select all of these. Maybe you have a massive build that's like 50 Legos and you can't see behind it. So you brush select, does it select everything behind the brush or only what is visible from the camera by the brush? That could work. It's just, I mean, there's some complex Lego builds I've seen. Like, I mean, any type of. Now again, this is gonna be limited to only like 30 Legos tops per build. I'm pretty sure. It's not gonna be anything crazy. So it might not be a problem. I don't know. This is one of those things where there's so many different possible ways you could do this, but which way is the right way? Maybe not the right way, that's a bad way to say it. Which way is the ideal way? I don't know. How big are you letting the user build because they might need different selects depending on what they could build? Exactly, that's exactly right. Different types of builds, different types of selects based on what you're building. For this mobile game, what I'm wanting it to be, no more than like 30 Lego blocks, probably. Unless the community requested more for whatever reason. Using ChatGPT for ideas on coding for what I've been needing for the issue you're on. Oh, cool. That's a great idea. Let's, no, maybe we shouldn't do that. I mean, we can try it. Yeah, let's do it just for fun. You have to, for ChatGPT to work, you have to babysit it. Now, I do use ChatGPT a lot for coding as well. I do use ChatGPT a lot for coding. I do also ask it for suggestions on how to do things. It's awesome. It really is awesome. There's sometimes though where I'll ask ChatGPT to like help with code. It'll give me a solution and I'm reading through its code and I'm like, that is not what I asked for, or that is not going to work. And so I have to babysit it like, no, so what I mean by this is this. And then it's like, oh, okay, sorry about that. And now with that information in mind, here's the new code. And a lot of times I can get it to where I need it to be, but it's hit or miss sometimes. Yeah, I honestly don't want to play around with that right now on stream, so. Yeah, thanks for checking that out for me. Yeah, what solutions are you getting, HK47? Sir, that is not what I ordered. Maybe make a layer system like Photoshop and the user can choose to group certain layers. Now after typing that, I don't know if that is a great idea. I mean, that's possible. If this was a PC app, and it was complex, and yes, I would say something like that would be perfect. But because it's a mobile game and I want it to be as simple as possible, I don't think that's a solution. Okay, let's solve this problem of the intersecting Lego that we have fixed for the blue Lego, but not for the others. Because this page, this Unity page said, I'm sorry guys, the music stopped. Why did that happen? There we go, sorry about that. So the Unity documentation said that you have to have rigid bodies for the on-trigger enter to work. But you can't have a rigid body on both objects, it said. I'm gonna try it anyway. Because if that works, then we're done. If it doesn't work, I'm gonna do something else. These all have to have this trigger. And then give these rigid body. With use gravity off and is kinematic on. So documentation says this will not work. Let's try it. It works. Red, yellow, red, yellow. Snap, snap, snap. Okay, it works. When you intersect somewhere that you can't connect to, turns red and yellow, perfect. So the on trigger enter and on trigger exit is firing even though the documentation said that it wouldn't. Perfect, we're good then. So every Lego block has to have a rigid body, use gravity off, and is kinematic on. I'm gonna look at that one more time because I want to double check. Is documentation wrong? Unity on trigger enter. Okay, let's look at this. Okay, so that is what we're using right here. On trigger enter and on trigger exit for all the Lego blocks. On trigger enter happens on the fixed update. Two game objects collide. Both game objects must contain a collider component, which I've got. One must have a collider is trigger enabled and contain a rigid body. I have that on all of them. If both game objects have collider is trigger enabled, no collision happens, but it does. All my blocks have is trigger enabled, but collision is still happening. Or maybe it's saying no collision happens, but the trigger can still happen because the trigger is separate from collision. Maybe that's what it's saying. Maybe it's saying collision won't happen. If that's the case, that's fine because we don't need collision to happen. The same applies when both game objects do not have a rigid body component. Okay, they both do have it. Okay, that's a little confusing. What does it mean by collision? Maybe it's saying no physics collision happens. So like if both... Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. So if I turn is-kinematic off, what it's saying is a physics collision won't happen. So if I drag this, yeah, it's not gonna move it, like bump into it. But if I turn is trigger off here, then I think this will bump it. No, maybe not. There it is, okay. That's what it means by collisions, like actual physics collisions. I guess that's what the documentation is saying. Still playing. Yes. Hold on, someone's calling me. Okay, so if that works, we're golden. All Lego blocks will have is trigger on and is kinematic on and gravity off. Perfect. That solves that problem. Make sure you're on the right Unity version for you, top left. Yes, this is the latest LTS version. That's what I'm on right now. Collision, I think, is more, for example, transfer of energy. Yes, you're exactly right. I want to check out how the designer program on Bricklink does it. I could, but again, that's a PC app, and I need to build this with mobile in mind, so it's a little more limited. Yes, HK47, 100%. Okie dokie. What next? Everything's snapping great. Oh, that. Okay, that's what we need to account for. So we've made it so that it turns red when you can't place it somewhere. Wait, it should still turn red if it's intersecting, but it's snapped. Ooh, how do I do that? Because that messes up what I just coded. I'd have to say, because this is not handling. Right here, if we enter a collider, if we enter another Lego block and we're not snapped, then say that it's intersecting. Problem is all those things are happening here correctly, but it's intersecting another Lego block that it's not snapping to. Check if the connection points intersect any other connection point. Can't do that because there are two intersection points here on the red that are intersecting this one correctly. Could keep track of the object or the block that it's connecting to and not include that in the collider that it's checking for here. I also need to make it so that if you let go in red, and you let go, it will snap back to the original position. I think that should be the right mechanism. So let's do that. Let's try to fix that real quick. So on ray up, would it be in the snap? So on ray down, you first have to store the current position. So let's see. Vector 3. Last block position. So on ray down, only when you start to drag it. So if selected, then we're dragging. Dragging equals true. This is the point here where I need to store the last position. Last block position equals transform position. Okay, and then on ray up, let's see. If we were dragging, then dragging equals false, and then we do it right here. Okay, so if the intersection is happening, move the position of the block back to the old position. So let me just go ahead and make it happen every time first. So transform position equals last block position. So that will actually show if it's actually gonna work. So even if it's not intersecting, it's always gonna go to the last position. Let's try that. So move this. Yes, perfect. So it's storing the last position, I move it, and then I let go, and it moves it back. Perfect. Beautiful, that's what I like to see. So now I want that to only happen if I let go and it's intersecting. So, am I storing a variable that it's intersecting? No, I am not. So let's have a bool intersecting. This will store the value on whether the block is intersecting another block or not. So then in here in this intersecting method, if we're intersecting, then set intersecting to true, but not this intersecting. It needs to be this. It needs to be the intersecting value. Maybe I should differentiate this just to make it cleaner instead of using this. Let's do this is intersecting. There we go. Then that is the local variable. No, not local variable. The local variable is inside the method, I believe. Can't remember. Gotta go again and dive into Unity Learn. See you next stream. Thanks for joining the stream, Loxion. Appreciate you being here. Have fun. Let's get a function to check for valid placement. Checks if snapped, if intersecting, and snaps back to original, if not. This should work what I'm about to do. Intersecting equals true. Intersecting equals false. Okay, so that says that correctly. Now up here, I can just do, we only snap back to the last position if intersecting is true. So if intersecting is true, snap back to the last position. That should work. Let's try it. Okay. So now it's not snapping back when I let go. Perfect. Perfect. But if it's red, yes. When you let go, it snaps back to its last position. Beautiful. Oh, I love it so much. It works, guys. It works. Red, let go, snap back. Nice. Why is that not red? Because it's intersecting, but then it snaps, so it's not intersecting, and then I pull it out from, so it doesn't go back. That is because it is not re-entering the trigger, technically. So, because it's already inside the trigger. So what I need to do, is there an on-trigger stay? What is that? It's called once per frame for every collider other that is touching the trigger. Oh, that should work. This is wildly inefficient to call this constantly. But just to see if it works, let's try that. My coder gamer, how's your day? What's up, June 2? How's it going? For the animated Pixel Fire. Sleeping in the PC somewhere. I am doing some game dev right now, building a not a Lego game, a block game. But we will do a Lego stream or a Minecraft stream this Friday night or Saturday night. One of those two. We're going to make them slide along each other instead of clipping. No, we can definitely do that, Marco. I think that's probably something I'll have to do off stream, just because that's a little intensive. But yeah, I would like to try out that method at some point. Okay, so let's see if this works first. Red, yellow, boop. Nope, that's still not working. Why does it think it's still snapped? Is snap, oh wait, that's 2 by 2. 1 by 2, there we go. Red. Yellow. Still yellow. Wait, I thought I changed it to on trigger stay. What? Oh, I didn't. Ugh. On trigger stay. Whoops. Get this man to 6K likes. Appreciate it. Coding HTML be like JK. This is C#. Okay, this should work. We'll see. Red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. Yes. Okay. That works. So that's essentially checking for trigger collisions every single frame, which is not too efficient. It's probably fine. Let me look it up. Let me look how efficient or inefficient that is. On trigger stay. On trigger stay is called almost all the frames. Interesting. For every collider other that is touching the trigger. The function is on the physics timer, so it won't necessarily run every frame. Message is sent to the trigger and the collider that touches the trigger. Know that trigger events are only sent if one of the colliders also has a rigid body attached. Trigger events will be sent to disabled mod behaviors to allow enabling collisions. Applies an upwards force to all rigid bodies that enter the trigger. Do this. How performant is on trigger stay. Is on trigger stay that old? I thought it was a new thing for some reason. Serious frame rate drops lately. Dang. Look at that on trigger stay at the top. 20%. Oh, 20% of the total physics, but again, might not be a lot. It's 18 milliseconds of time. Other techniques other than on trigger stay, or not even use triggers period. Oh, okay. Wonder how I could do this without using on trigger stay. Thanks, Sourless Scream, appreciate it. What am I doing this stream for? Don't know. I don't know. An hour and a half. Can you do a check when you drop your mouse click? That will check if it's not snapped, it returns to position. I am doing that already, given that snapped disables correctly. No, I'm already doing that. Yeah. Nice, guys. Appreciate it. It's working correctly. So if I let go while it's red, it snaps back to its last position. But it's not switching back. Oh, I know what I need to do. When it snaps back to its last position, it needs to turn the outline back to off, because the last position will always be allowed. So if intersecting, don't only snap back, but also set intersecting to false. Why isn't that working? That should work. It's in an allowed position. When I let go, it should snap back. That's weird. What else is calling intersect? Oh, it's probably the on trigger stay. We've come so far, halfway to be exact. Thanks, everyone. What? Oh, a Prime sub. That's awesome. I'm Goko. Thank you so much. Guys, we are at 5 subs on Twitch. That's awesome. That's the most subs I've ever had. I have a goal to get 10 subs on Twitch. Thank you so much. I'm Goko. That means a lot. You're way too kind. That's awesome. Thank you so much. I was like, what is that banner on top? We're halfway to what? Did I get hacked? It was in the Twitch chat. As much as I work in Unity for my day job, I enjoy streams like this. Vibes are great. Awesome. Oh, you work in Unity for your day job? Dude, that's awesome. I am Goko. Can you tell me where you work? If not, please don't feel obligated. But I'm just curious if you work in Unity for your day job. That's so cool. Definitely follow you on Twitch. I hope you really reach your goal on 10 subs. Thanks, Sourless Cream. Means a lot. FNX Deer, thank you for the rose. Means a lot. Yeah, I need this to be on trigger enter. The stay is just, it's gotta be too inefficient. On trigger enter. But I still need to, when you're inside a trigger, it's not gonna call on trigger enter again. So if you're inside and then you snap, it's gonna say you're not intersecting. But then if you move from there back into red, that's what I gotta figure out. Work on a mobile Star Trek game. Really? That is awesome. Like, is that a personal thing you're making, or you're making a Star Trek game like for the actual brand? Why is that not working? Because it's not experiencing the enter. Because it's already inside it. Enter only happens when you first intersect the shell of a collider. But if it's already in the collider, it's not going to trigger it again. So then why don't I just... As soon as we start dragging, set it to intersecting. No matter what. For like a split frame. Intersecting. True. And then that should automatically be set to false once it's supposed to. That might work. Let's see. Oh no, that doesn't work. I thought that might happen. What are you trying to do right now? Hey, Sourless Cream, moved over to Twitch. What would your goal be? Probably be after 10 subs. Probably 20 subs. Or for a studio that has the IP to make it. Dude, that is awesome. I am Goko. I feel so honored that you're here on my stream. This is amazing. What exactly do you... I'm sure you can't tell me much because of your NDA, but what exactly... What type of stuff do you build in the mobile Star Trek game? You said you work in Unity. Are you doing coding? Are you working with the prefabs and the models? Are you working with the UI? Like, what exactly do you do? I work on UI mainly, very, very light coding. Oh, that's awesome. I feel so honored to have you here. I was trying to figure out how I follow you. It was a Blender short on your YouTube. Oh, cool. Hold on, guys, 1 second. My son wanted a wrench. Raise the handlebars on his bike. Well, my wife came in and asked because my son wanted his bike raised. I'm Goko says I'm no one. What? What are you talking about? You're crazy. No one special, always trying to stay motivated to work on some cool Unity projects and things like this, and your shorts help. Awesome. Dude, if you're a UI person, oh my gosh, you could be of so much help to me. Have you worked on anything besides the Star Trek mobile game? Because I'm okay at UI, but I'm not the best, honestly. So having someone that knows UI in the chat is incredible. That would be so cool. Like once I actually get into the UI portion of this game, I would love your feedback and your suggestions. Whoa. Yeah, that is weird. Why is it? I don't like that. Yeah, I need to make... Oh, dang, it's 1:30. I have not eaten lunch yet. What's the protocol here? Should I end stream and then eat lunch and then start stream again? Or do I just leave stream running? That seems stupid to leave stream running while I'm eating lunch. Maybe I'll just end stream. I need to do some other work today anyway. Ooh, I might just end stream here. 10:30 a.m. for me. It is 1:30 p.m. for me. Good call, I need lunch. Yeah, I'm gonna call it here, guys. We got some stuff done. That was fun. I enjoyed being on stream with you guys today, and I will try to do another game dev stream. I actually might not be able to do one tomorrow because I have a lot to do on something I have to get done by tomorrow night. So probably Friday, I'll do another game dev stream in the middle of the day, like today. And then Friday night or Saturday night, I'll do a gaming stream with my VTuber setup. Probably Lego, because I just did Minecraft. Probably either Lego Fortnite or Lego Star Wars. That'll be fun. But yeah, I'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for the Prime sub. I am Goko. It was I'm Goko, right? Yes, thank you, I'm Goko, for the Prime sub today. Appreciate that. And I'll see you guys soon. Check out the Discord if you haven't already. That is where we hang out off stream. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye, Marco. Thanks for being here. Bye, guys.